Alright, it's vlog number 200. This is going to be a conversation on minimalism that I actually had a little bit ago. I actually really enjoyed the conversation and felt that it was, it kind of like shares a lot of, how I feel about minimalism, like as it applies to just life. And it ended up being too long to fit into the vlog where I actually had the conversation like that day. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here today for vlog 200. Other news, I did get a request to do a standing front tuck for vlog 200. Never did a standing front tuck. Haven't done a front flip in years, aside from I practiced a little bit before. Basically landed on my butt every time and landed in a squat the one time that I almost did it. Anyhow, I'm gonna go try a standing front tuck and just see how that goes. Alright guys, so real quick, I'm probably gonna overlay some random B-roll, like maybe some drone footage or me walking through the woods or meditating out in the forest, just to kind of coincide with the talk of clarity and internal peace and whatnot. So really random footage. I'm gonna just see if I can splice over some of that B-roll, just so I'm not just the talking head, Personal preference, I think. I mean, maybe it's more entertaining for you guys too. I don't know. But anyways, here we go. Alright, so real quick thought, starting this 30-day minimalism game thing has got me thinking about ways, ways that I might not be applying myself at the different projects that I have going on. How do I apply principles that I learned about, that I talk about in minimalism to my work. The daily vlog is not a minimal vlog. It's every single day. And there are some times where I'm like, this kind of feels like spam. Things to think about, minimalism as it applies to work, my own personal work. I'm starting to think maybe I should take my own advice and apply that same thinking to, my video editing, my video shooting style. How do you do minimalism as a videographer? In another topic, Erin has arrived at meeting number 1. So,
hi.
Yeah, some good talking and brainstorming in.
Maybe have different understandings of
about it's more essentialism than just not having stuff. It's having the right things, and that includes, I guess, when it comes to, for me, making videos, it's what would be meaningful to shoot. Because I mentioned this in a previous vlog. It's there's this, after you're done talking about your subject, sometimes if you feel like it's not complete, you're I feel like I need to say more, but then maybe I shouldn't, because I'm just rambling. And
I don't know why this made me think of it, but my mom was a painter, and she always talked about painting sometimes, and then you always want to go back and fix stuff, but then you end up ruining it. It was fine the way it was, but you want to over
it becomes
correct
too much
stuff, and then it is.
How should I apply principles of minimalism into the things that I'm doing?
So I think it's different for each person, you know what I mean? Because so when I first watched The Minimalist, my whole idea was he had all these things that that didn't make them happy. Which, and for most people, I think that's the case. But some people have different things that do make them happy. So if I cut out everything that they cut out, I might not be happy, because some of those things I enjoyed or I like doing. So I think it's different for each person, because I feel if you take minimalism just as the word, and you're all right, I gotta cut every single thing out, in my opinion, law of attraction doesn't work in your favor then, because you're just telling the world, I don't want or need anything. So the world's not gonna give you anything.
Yeah, you just live like a hermit in the cave.
So I think it's more focusing on what you do, what does make you happy, and doing it. So take what does make you happy and just focus on that, but cut out the distractions or the little things that don't. I thought I had to go to school, get a fancy degree, work a big corporate job, make six figures.
Buy stuff.
That would be buy a sweet ride, and that would make me happy. But really, it's if that's not what your purpose or your passion is. I forget what book I was reading, but it was talking about if you were meant to be a third grade teacher and you're passionate about kids and teaching and that kind of stuff, but somehow you find yourself in a career and you're making millions of dollars in a business, you're not going to be happy, because that's not your purpose. That's not your passion, what you're called to do. But I don't think people, my opinion, I don't think people take the time or are really taught or
I think living a meaningful life is so much encouraged. They're usually encouraged to do that whole like get a job and make lots of money, and I think that's something at least in North America, like a U.S. culture is taught us that. I think partly because of the Great Recession, the Great Depression, like coming out of that, we're like, oh shoot, if we don't have stuff, we're not happy. But that's not always the case, even though going through that sucks, because then you really do need stuff, like you gotta make money to buy food.
Right.
And find like a place to live.
Bare minimalism right there.
Like like when your base needs aren't met, like that is, your drive to get stuff is very strong. But then like when you're living in a society like today, and you have stuff.
It's like, what else? Yeah.
It's like, well shoot, I don't need to get this stuff anymore, like I have what I need, and then...
Right. Like I didn't know that, like that I met you, that this would turn into like doing more like... But you just never know unless you put yourself in those positions. And I think that, you know, when people stay in their little box or their job or whatever, and they don't go explore other new things, and you just never know. Like I've always been a yes person. I always say like I'd rather live a life full of oh wells than what ifs, you know, like
that is very true though. Like I had to get to that point because for a long time, like I was that no person. Like I just, you know, very introverted. If I had a choice, like I would still, even now, like there are a lot of days where I'm like, I should sleep in and not go outside today.
Right. Yeah.
Grow, really.
Right. It's just a wasted day.
Unfortunately.
Which sometimes are okay.
Yes, there are some days though where I'm very proud that I was able to stay home and like, you know.
Because like sometimes I just want to be in a time where I'm doing nothing. I'm seriously not thinking about anything. Like all out.
It's like completely
all out nothing. So I had to learn that, and now I adopted it now too.
So for today's minimalism challenge, it's day number 6. Gonna get rid of some old inventory. So for my ginger beer company, I've got some really old ginger beer that needs to get thrown away, because my particular one actually does go bad, because it's not actually soda and it's not actually beer. It has an expiration date. It's like a cold pressed juice, and I was just too lazy to get rid of it, and also just kind of didn't want to, you know, like when I had to put to shelf that business, like I really didn't want to. Not really. So just like that kind of a sentimental attachment was still there, and that was years ago now. So gonna go ahead and get rid of some of that. There's 6 boxes, so that's gonna be my 6 items for today. All right, can't really see that sky very well, but it looks amazing right now. Anyhow, in my trunk, there's like glass bottles and stuff with beverages inside of them that are technically no good anymore. They've been there for years, and my product was not made to last for years. 6 boxes that need to be discarded. So for day 6, we've got 6 items we're gonna get rid of, and yeah, that'll be that. So I don't know, I guess that's about it. Like this is kind of a thing that's been sitting around for a long time. Maybe I'll talk like in tomorrow's vlog or something about like how that makes me feel internally, like inside mentally, getting rid of it. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching today, and I will catch you in the next one.